everyone. I'm just covering the inside covers with some of this Reader's Digest condensed with some Tim Holtz paper. Now, I didn't go over this because I am going to put a piece of fabric on the spine after I add that little piece of chipboard. Now, this is approximately, well, it's almost 2 inches from one side to the other, but the piece that I need for the chipboard, I'm going to say about 1.25 inches because I've got some stuff here that I don't want to deal with. It's the, glue, old glue, the fabric cloth from the old binding. It's a real thick layer. I haven't been able to trim close enough to that, so I'm just going to put an 1.5 inches. Well, I'm going to start with 1.5 inches. I may have to trim it by a 1/16 or something, but that's what I'm going to put for a spine. And basically, you don't have to do that. I mean, you could but sometimes this vinyl or whatever it is they used on these books is kind of delicate. And in fact, this one is 1994, and that's the only reason that it's not cracked and falling apart. Most of them, when I bring them home and take the text block out, they just completely disintegrate, and I have to build a new spine anyway. So yeah, we might need 1 3/8 inches instead of 1.5 inches or something like that. But all I did for this was measure across to the end of this board, because that's where it's going to fold anyway. So I did the 5 and I did 7 3/8 so that I don't have any of that orange showing. And I had to cut it several times because for some reason my mind is not working today. I kept cutting it 7 1/8, and then on some of the other pieces I kept cutting 5 3/4 instead of 6 3/4 because it looks the same on my cutter. I should have pulled out my swing line and used it, but sometimes it has a tendency to go crooked. So I mean, that's what I love about this craft, junk journaling. You don't have to have everything perfect. And by the time it's all said and done, nobody's going to notice but you anyway. So don't tell people about your mistakes. I learned that in quilting because I would make a quilt and then I would show it to someone, and then they would I would say, oh, but I messed up here, or I didn't do the stitches here, or this and that and the other, and they were like, I would have never known that if you hadn't told me, so don't tell people. Okay, so a piece of something there, get that off. Okay, now I'm going to use my brayer just so that I know that makes a really good contact, and I don't want that peeling up since it is on the front and back cover of the book. I am probably going to put pockets or something up here. I was thinking about doing maybe a side pocket instead of, I usually do a bottom pocket. So I think in these collections of Tim Holtz papers, there's only one of every design, so I wasn't able to use the same paper for the front and back, and it is 8 by 8, so if I'd have had 12 by 12 it would have been good, but I don't. So, but anyway, I'm thinking about putting side pockets here instead of bottom pockets. So, alright, so that's the cover for now. And then I did go through and I haven't done the back of the CD yet, but I went through and I cut mats for these. So I'm going to put those on really quickly, and then I'm going to go back through my papers and see if I can find something for the back of that CD. Now I am going to go ahead and put a piece of paper tape, micropore, whatever you want to call it, medical tape over the little the hole there so it doesn't pop up when you're taking things in and out of the pocket. Oh, you know what? I wanted to sew around these first. I have all that glue on there. Maybe I'll sew around the other side and not this side. It doesn't all have to be sewn. There we go. Okay, and then I can sew around these two pieces. I'll sew around the pieces on the pocket side. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna, decide which one. I want to put this one on the pocket. Now, you could make a double pocket here if you wanted to. I am not going to this time. Just gonna put that on there. Center it the best I can because on these bags nothing's straight, so I'm not gonna stress about it. And make sure that goes in there the right way. And yeah. Well, let me get it in before you dry. There we go. I'll rub off that excess. There we go. Okay, so we've got the front, and we need to still find something for that, but that one's done. All right, so let's do this one. So I'm going to sew these pieces, and I'm just going to continue matting this and sewing around the one. I'm just going to sew around these two pieces. I'm going to leave this side unsewn just to mix it up a little bit. I am going to ink around it, but I'm going to continue doing this and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got this matted on all 5 pages. I've got the pocket liner here. And the one thing I forgot to mention, now we are using the right hand side to attach the CD sleeves. And we are using the left hand side to attach to the spine. So we do not want to glue this gusset. However, we do want to glue this gusset. So just going to go in there with a little bit of glue. Of course, after you add the CD sleeves, you just want to glue that so it's not in our way. I mean, you don't have to do this, but when you're putting things in and out of the top pocket, it will be helpful to have that piece out of your way. And then sometimes there's a little bit down here, you know, if it's bothering you, you can also glue that. I'm just gonna rub this down a little bit. Okay. So we don't need to glue this. Now, there is this little piece back here that is open, and we can glue that. That is not the pocket. It's inside the little piece that we folded, where the bag opens, where the bottom of the bag opens. So we can close that. But make sure that you leave this long gusset open. Okay, that way you won't have so much stuff, you know, opening on you and everything. Okay, so the gusset on the right hand side can be glued shut after you put the CD sleeve in. We want to leave the long gusset open. Okay, now I'm using just some micropore here. I lost the end. Where'd it go? Okay, there it is. I'm just tearing off a little piece of this to cover the little CD tab, and it stuck to me and I folded it over, so now I'll cut that off. Because I don't want that to be popping up when I'm putting things in and out of the pocket. So I'm just rubbing that down a little bit. Okay. Now don't rub too hard because the adhesive will go, this is so thin that the adhesive will start to rub through. Okay, so then I have this piece that is 4.5 this way and 4 3/4 this way, and I'm just going to mat that pocket. I did sew around these, but you don't have to. Okay. Leaves about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Just like that. And once you start adding these mats, you really feel that the pages start to be sturdy. They still crumple though. They still make that lovely crunch. So we'll be able to tuck something in here. And then of course we'll have our pocket here. We have our pocket in the top up here. After we attach this to the page, this will be glued down, and we'll be able to get things in the pocket without too much trouble here. And I may just add a couple of journal cards. I may add one journal card. I'm not sure yet. And then add something in here that will show through the window there, which would be nice. And then I want to use this space to do the belly bands, the maybe the side tucks or the corner flips or something like that. And like I said, we've got enough room in the binding for, you know, adding about 1/4 of an inch of thickness. So yeah, I think that'll be okay. So we've got our 5 pages here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And I have attached everything to them. I'll just flip through here real quick so you can see. And next time what we will do is make the spine piece, the whatever this is, the hinges for the binding, and we'll go ahead and adhere that to the book, and then we will be able to add our pages in like so into the book, and then we'll start doing all the decorating. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.